It's me, Zenobia, darling. You're listening to hashtag Rockstar Life, the Coffee Break podcast. Let's go. Where the hell's my cold brew at? Ooh, what's up, guys? It's me, Zenobia, darling. I'm coming at you today, bright and early on a Wednesday morning. It is currently 8:45 on a Wednesday. I woke up. It's a beautiful day, too. I woke up. There's been a lot of this full moon has really been kicking up my anxiety, and I've had a lot of weird things happen. And so I woke up at 8:30 this morning. I have to do my day job in like 3 hours. So I figured I'd wake up and give you guys an amazing espresso shot episode. So I didn't have a podcast episode last week because I just want to get this out of the way. I had a death in the family that's been really, it's not, I mean, death is a hard thing, but it's just been kind of like, I don't know. It's just been, I've been dealing with that. There's been some drama around it. And it's just like, my brain has not been in the place to record a podcast last week. So I didn't. And I just want to announce this. This is the season finale for season 1. I will be taking a little bit of a summer hiatus, and I will be back with season 2 in a few weeks. So I'm just going to take a few weeks off just to get some shit together. And then I have some amazing shit lined up. I just keep thinking, I want seasons, and season 1 of this podcast has been so amazing, and season 2 will be even better. All right, so with all that out of the way, I figured for this espresso shot, I would talk about one of the greatest Real Housewives of all time, Kelly Dodd. I fucking love Kelly Dodd. She's just one of the greatest housewives of all time. She really is. Because with things have been a little crazy, and especially with dealing with a death in the family, I kind of, my happy place is laying in bed with an edible watching Bravo, watching Real Housewives or Vanderpump Rules or something like that. And I recently went back and I rewatched all I think there's 4 seasons, but I watched the non-COVID season, but like the 3 seasons with Kelly Dodd of Real Housewives of Orange County. And man, I forgot how good of a housewife she is. So I figured, let's just get into it. Let's talk about Kelly Dodd because I love her. Plus, it's a nice little wrap up of season 1 because the first episode of season 1 was talking about the villains of the Real Housewives, and Kelly Dodd is a villain, and I absolutely love every minute of it. But before we do, there is some other Bravo news I figured we could talk about. So I watched this week's episode of Real Housewives of New Jersey with a freaking mob wives style brawl between Jennifer Aydin and Danielle Cabral, and wow, as that's what Shannon would say. Oh, wow. It was, I don't even know where to begin with that. That was some next level shit. I mean, I definitely blame Jennifer Aydin because she got physical first. But at the same time, the Staten Island came out of Danielle, and she was in her face calling her a fucking piece of garbage and trash and a piece of shit, which, I don't know, the whole thing. And these are my thoughts on New Jersey. I really enjoy New Jersey. New Jersey's always been a happy place for me. There's especially in the last few seasons. This season, I was a little anxious because I was like, I don't like the 2 factions. I don't really like any of that. And this whole Teresa Melissa thing, I'm just over. I'm just really fucking over. I just think one of them needs to depart the show. I think it's better, because I've had this with some of my family members is, sometimes a no contact boundary and just kind of keeping those boundaries keeps you healthier mentally and physically sometimes. And it's I think it's time that, Melissa and Teresa, one of them needs to go. There's other opportunities for ex-Real Housewives. Hopefully we get another Ultimate Girls trip. Hopefully, it seems like all of them are on the fucking Traders now. So it's one of those things where I'm like, okay, it's time for one of them to part. I like Melissa. I don't want to see her leave because I also love Joe. But the only reason that Melissa's on there is because of Joe. Or because of Joey. So, and Teresa, I don't think she's going anywhere. She's an OG. She still has a lot of ratings. I mean, there's a lot of tree huggers out there, and I know many of you are listening. And I don't know. I'm ready for them to go. Margaret's getting on my nerves a little bit. I like her. I like her Yenta energy. I like Margaret a lot. It's just she's a little, I don't know, because she's very smart and she's very calculating, but she's not. She's messy, but she's like very sneaky about it and very sly, and I like that. At the same time, it's really coming out, and so I'm ready for Margaret to go. I don't want to see Jackie. I'm good. I mean, I really empathize with her eating disorder journey, but I am very much over it, if that makes sense. I'm just not, that sounds horrible, but I'm just like, I'm over Jackie. I just think she's bringing nothing. This whole thing where she's now friends with Teresa, like, what the fuck? Like, do we have to go back to Gia does coke and Teresa flipping out being like, you cunt, that shit? Like, how do you go from that to those two fucking hating each other to how all of a sudden Jackie's team Teresa? You know what it reminds me of? There was a season of Orange County where, we all know Gretchen and Tamra, frenemies, do not get along. And there was a season where Tamra and Gretchen became friends. That's what it's giving me, and it's so transparent. I'm like, all right, Jackie, time for you to go. Again, there's a lot of opportunities for these ex-Real Housewives. They can handle it. So getting back to the fight with Jennifer Aydin and Danielle Cabral, I'm team Danielle. I agree. I like Danielle, surprisingly. She has she's from Staten Island. She was on MTV's I'm a Staten Island Girl, which I fucking thought was so fucking hilarious. And hell yeah, I watched all the True Live. I think my favorite was I'm a Jersey Shore Girl. That was good. Oh, I'm Gay for Pay. The straight dudes who do gay porn. That was a good one. The Tourette's one was good. There was a few really good True Lives. Like, I want to say, like, I auditioned to be on True Life. This was back in like it was either True Life or it was like some like gay offshoot of that was going to be on MTV. But I actually auditioned for it back in like 2011. I didn't get it. I mean, obviously, but I mean, like, I remember True Life was really good. And I remember her being on that. I just recently went back and rewatched that. And I kind of like that they bring people who have been in the pop culture one, because Dina Manzo was on like My Big Fat Wedding or Obnoxious Bride, or was on one of those shows with Caroline Manzo and whatnot, which, I won't get into that because there's some legal stuff, but just Google Dina Manzo ex-husband and see it, because that's really sad, because Caroline's doesn't have her sister's back, and that's fucked up. But it is what it is. But getting back to Jennifer, the thing about Jennifer is I'm ready for her to leave. I'm ready for her to not be a housewife. She needs to go. I just think this season she's getting too toxic. There's a lot of rumors online going that she's been giving screeners to Twitter accounts, and that's a big no-no, and it's just messy, it's dark, there's a lot of dark stuff with Louis and Teresa, and paying Twitter accounts and bots to go after people. I know I listened to all the Bravo podcasters, and I believe it was Kate Casey or someone that said, when I had Margaret on, I had an influx of just negative comments on social media and on like the podcasting apps, which, you're going to get some of it. I mean, I've definitely gotten some of it, and I'll tell you right now, I don't read a damn thing of it. And also, some people like to come for me, and I'm just going to say it to my face. Just say it to my face, because you won't. But anyway, I don't listen to it. I don't care. So it's one of those things where, I do think that there is something behind that. And I do think that Jennifer Aydin is the biggest culprit. I do think this will be her last season. I definitely think they're going to be rejiggering New Jersey, because, and honestly, I can see Teresa staying, I can see Dolores staying, and I can see Danielle staying. I can even see Rachel Fuda staying, but the rest of them, bye-bye, I'm good. Let's see, am I missing it? Let's see, there's Teresa, Melissa, Dolores, Margaret. I feel like I'm missing somebody. Danielle, Rachel. No, that's 6. And then Jackie's a friend of. Yeah, so, yeah. But, I mean, I feel like I'm missing some. And Jennifer Aydin, yeah. But yeah, I think Jennifer Aiden needs to go. I'm done with her boring ass mall house in Paramus that looks like shit. I'm good. I'm good. And with that fight, I'm team Danielle. I'm team Danielle. I mean, I loved it. All right, so moving on. The other news that I've been following is apparently Kenya Moore is not coming back to Atlanta. I mean, they're mid-season filming the new season, and this is what I love about Kenya, because when Kenya's good, she fucking is good and she delivers. And Atlanta's been struggle bus lately. The last few seasons have not been good, and I love Atlanta. I absolutely love Atlanta. Yeah, and I love those old school Atlanta episodes. They're so good. And when Kenya Moore came into Marlo's event with a marching band screaming Kenya Moore hair care, that's the fucking Kenya Moore that I love. That's that villainous, speaking of villains, because we're going to get into Kelly Dodd, that is that Real Housewife villainy that is so good. And Kenya fucking delivers it. I also like Kenya because she also has she has a realness to her. And there's some moments where you're like, wow, girl, like you've been through some stuff. Like you really have... Like, you've been through some trauma, and it still affects you daily, and that comes across on camera to me, especially because I'm an empath with that type of stuff, and I just think it gives Kenya Moore such a realness, and I really have a lot of empathy, which I think makes a good Real Housewife, and the fact that Kenya Moore's not coming back makes me really sad. So apparently what she did was, one of the new girls was allegedly in porn or did porn, or I don't know if it was actually porn. I mean, I could see her probably like having a boyfriend film a blowjob, but she threw a party at her hair salon and she played the video of her giving some guy a blowjob. And so I remember it got leaked, and then she wrote back saying, I'll be vindicated. Like she was tweeting that, Kenya was. And then there's a whole debate about revenge porn, and then they're talking about Vanderpump Rules, and it's just shit like that where I'm like, can we just like, why do we need Real Housewives to be, again, moral, upstanding citizen of the world? Like, I want that shit. Like, you know, like I'm tired of this fucking like cancel culture, and I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of people coming for people when they do stuff like that. Like, that's what makes a good housewife. And yeah, there might be some ethical dilemmas, but at the same time, like, what about like on Vanderpump Rules during the Scandival? Like they're going to say that's revenge porn. I don't really see it like that. I mean, and that's my opinion, but like, I don't know. Like, I want to see that shit. And you know, if you're gonna film yourself having sex, if you're gonna film that stuff, you have to be okay with people who you don't want watching those videos or seeing those videos. You know, they're gonna come out. And you go on Housewives, producers tell you everything's coming out of the closet. I mean, let's look at Jen Shaw from Salt Lake City. I'm sure producers told her, if you have any skeletons in your closet or anything, it will come out when you get on the Housewives. And, well, it did. And she's locked up in the slammer. So, but at the same time, it's like, you know, if you've done porn and you try to keep it hush-hush, it's like back in the day. Like, I was watching the, a few months ago, the FX Bet and Joan feud one, and there was some blackmail that Joan Crawford got for allegedly doing, back in the day, it was called a snuff film, but it was like a sex film and like nude pictures and stuff like that. And so like back in the day, it was called like a snuff film, but like, and also like a lot of people do like, you know, I know a lot of people that have done porn. I know a lot of people that have filmed themselves having sex, have taken nude pictures, have taken sexually explicit photos. And that's how I mean, during the pandemic, I mean, I can't tell you how many performers there was that were turned to OnlyFans and turned to that stuff to, you know, just to make money because no one had money because our freaking government and our whole society's a fucked up mess when it comes to money, but like, and helping people out, but like, not to get political, but you know, people do sex work. People do that stuff to make money when they're desperate. And one of the things about that is you have to be okay with it coming out. And so it's one of those things with Kenya where I'm like, you know, that's Kenya being a villain and she signed up for the Real Housewives and that's what makes them a Real Housewife. Like, you know, let's have it come out there and then let's have her stay on the show. Let's not suspend her. Let's have her stay on the show and then let's all talk about it and let's have a cathartic healing moment through it. You don't need to get rid of her. You don't need to fire her. I think I'm so tired of that. I do think it's also telling that she is, you know, that she is seeking legal action because I think it's more of that stuff where, you know, I do think that the phoniness and kind of the producer manipulation and some of the behind the scenes stuff is really making Real Housewives kind of feel a bit phony. And it definitely is some leaning out moments, and I definitely think that the wave of Real Housewives and a lot of this reality television, including RuPaul's Drag Race, is definitely coming in. But again, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I'm really sad. All right, I'm going to put the ad break in here, so enjoy. And when I come back, we're going to get into all about Kelly Dodd. So enjoy. All right, ad break. I got to pay for all this damn coffee I'm drinking and tea I'm spilling. It's me, Zenobia, darling. So, as many of you know, I'm more than just a podcaster, stand-up comic, and drag queen. I'm also a very accomplished painter and photographer, and you can check it all out on ZenobiaDarlingCreative.com. I have an art blog on there sponsored by the Harford County Cultural Arts Board, and just all my paintings, photography, you get podcast stuff. I have an art film that premiered in September that you can buy on there too. So make sure you check it out. It supports me, supports the podcast. All right, so let's get back to the podcast. All right, and we're back, guys. So, again, I'm going on a little summer hiatus. So make sure you stay subscribed to the podcast feed. And I'm telling you, I'll be back in a few weeks. Like, I got some stuff lined up, and I got some, I don't know. I have a lot of really exciting things in the works for the podcast. And just like, stay tuned. But remember, guys, you can always keep up with me on social media. You can always keep up with me on my website, ZenobiaDarlingCreative.com. So with that, let's get into Kelly fucking Dodd, because I fucking love her. I got like 3 pages of notes about her, because Kelly Dodd is one of the greatest Real Housewives. So definitely my top 5 housewives. So my hands down number 1, I love Luann. Luann's amazing. Let's see, number 2, I love Lisa Rinna. Always the best. Number 3 is Kelly Dodd. I fucking love Kelly Dodd. Number 4, Leanne Locken. I fucking love Leanne Locken. Number 5 is Ramona Singer. I love Ramona Singer. She's the best. Because remember, I like the Real Housewives to be villainous. I love that. I'm telling you, I love the ones who just, they don't, they don't really have the self-awareness. They're funny. And they're kind of like comics where they cross the line, but they also know how to fight through things. I really appreciate a lot of that stuff when it comes to a Real Housewife. And Kelly Dodd has that. So theatrically, I mean, we all know I study Real Housewives. That was what I wrote my thesis on at Towson University. And so the theatrical analyzation of Kelly Dodd's character on the Real Housewives, and that is what I'm analyzing. Yes, Kelly Dodd's a real person, but I'm also analyzing her character on the TV show The Real Housewives of Orange County. So, boom, there we go. So I forget what season she was on, but she was on there for 3 or 4 seasons. Towards the end, I don't know, she kind of got, I mean, she crosses the line, and I think she crossed the line with Bravo that, I don't know, Bravo wasn't that thrilled with, so they got rid of her. But I honestly, when they got rid of her, the season sucked. And the ratings went down, and because of her, and I think it was, and then they had to bring back fucking Heather Dubrow, and I don't think Heather would came back if Kelly was still on the show. I do think that 100%, which I think is fucked up, because Heather Dubrow shouldn't have that amount of power. None of these OGs should have that amount of power. But Kelly Dodd, so theatrically, I mean, she is a villain on the show. She's always been labeled a villain. She's always been. She's not or what does Carlos King say? She is a force multiplier. So she kind of like, she agitates, she's like a cultural agitator in that world. And she gets the other women to kind of go like no one can get Shannon having a Shannon meltdown like Kelly Dodd can. She also is not afraid to come up against like Tamra and Vicky and the OGs. She's not afraid to come at that. Like I've always said this about Kelly Dodd is I like her on Orange County, but I feel like if she was casted on like old school Real Housewives of New York City, it would have been perfect because she's more of a like New Yorker housewife. Like she reminds me a lot of Ramona and Luann and Sonia and Dorinda. Dorinda's one of my faves too. I could put Dorinda on there, but but she reminds me of those girls, and I wish they like she would, because she did move to New York in the last one because her husband then Rick Leventhal was living in New York. I think now they live in Orange County, but because I think that's where her daughter is too. But if she was on New York Housewives, I think Kelly would read a little bit different, and I think that there wouldn't be so much hate because there's a lot of hate against Kelly Dodd. And again, don't send people hate. They're fucking reality stars. Like Kelly Dodd makes the show amazing. And so when she came on, I believe this was the season after. No, because there was the Brooks cancer one, and then she came on, and it was the one where Shannon Bedore and David Bedore had the affair. It came out, and so they're trying to work on their marriage. So, and I remember watching it, and I was like, okay, like Kelly Dodd's interesting. I like her. I didn't really put too much stock into her until it was that 70s party where Shannon Bedore's dressed like Mrs. Roper, and Kelly Dodd shows up and they get into a fight, and Kelly Dodd just, because she says shit out of left field and just goes for the jugular all the time. She was like, God, no wonder why David cheated on you. And you're like, wait a minute, what the fuck did she just say? And they get into it, and then you get like, then Shannon's like, you were the one having an affair. And then she's like, who? You. It was you. Who? And they go into that fight, and God knows when you have a soundbite like that. Like there's the one where like, they're the one Atlanta episode where frickin' Sheree and Marlo get into it, and they're like, like that one where they're in South Africa. I love shit like that. Like, so that whole thing, you get Shannon going, it was you. And then Kelly's like, who? Like, oh my God. And they're dressed up in costumes. I remember that's when I fell in love with Kelly Dodd. I remember watching that. And then it was that sushi party they went to where someone was calling Kelly Dodd a whore. And she like flipped out and she calls Shannon a cunt. And I was like, oh God. And like, who was it? Heather flipped out. I think that's when Heather left the show because she was like, I'm not doing this. Which Heather, bye-bye. You know, I like that Heather's back, but again, Kelly didn't give a fuck and would come after Heather. And she, because of, that's what people don't realize. Because of Kelly Dodd, Heather Dubrow left the show. And she would have come back unless Kelly was gone. So, I mean, I think that shows you right there how amazing Kelly Dodd is. It's amazing. But the thing about Kelly, getting back to like the theater of it, is Kelly is like, she's a loose cannon and she's not afraid to go below the belt and cross that line. But the thing about Kelly that I really enjoy is, behind that, she generally is a nice person. Like, she's a real housewife. She can be, she's at what you expect to be of a real housewife, but you could tell that, like, she generally is lighthearted and funny, and she is a decent, smart person, and that comes through. But to me, she comes off as like a comic where she says things being funny that can kind of cross the line, and she's always like testing those waters, which I actually have a lot of respect for people that do that. I think it takes a lot of balls. And I mean, if you come for her, she'll come back for you. Don't come for Kelly Dodd. And that's something that I respect about her. I mean, I'm sure people are going to sit there and send a bunch of hate and shit, but like, I appreciate Kelly Dodd in these moments. Like, I really do. And it's, it's something that I think people need to really look at. I don't know. I love her. And she's lighthearted though. If you really go at, she says corny jokes, and it's stuff like that I fucking love Kelly Dodd. I just do. But she's also a crazy bitch, and it's beautiful to watch. Kelly Dodd is one of those people that just made for reality television. I wish she would come back. I really do. So on that first season, so they go to Ireland, and so I was already really loving Kelly Dodd. But then when they're in Ireland, and Shannon's trying to break her, and you could tell Kelly just was like keeping it. She was staying. She was being like, she kept taking it and kept taking the punches, taking all the people treating her like shit. And then they go to that thing where of course, Tamara's just, Tammy Sue from the trailer park, just straight up fucking white trash is what Tamara is. Just trailer fucking trash. I mean, ugh. So they're at that bar, and that's where they go into it. And then I remember that's when you saw Kelly start cracking, Because then we get that iconic part where she's walking down the street and she goes, God, no wonder her daughter doesn't talk to her. And then Shannon goes to Tamara in the department store because they couldn't film in the department store, but they were still mic'd up. And freaking Tamara goes up and says, you said, what about my, don't you ever, and pushed her. And that's when Kelly, I think, snapped. Because then we get the 3 a.m. bus ride to the airport where Kelly just had a fucking meltdown and called everyone out. And that's when Heather and her got into it. That's what it came out that Vicky said that David beat Shannon. And just, I mean, and it's all in that like grainy, like night vision GoPro footage. And they're fighting. And it's like, oh my God. That was when I was like, this bitch fucking just broke Heather, Shannon, and Vicky and Tamara all on a bus ride. Like, that's when I was like, this bitch, and that was her first season. Like, that was her first fucking season. I think that, like, you fucking love Kelly Dodd. So then the next season, so Heather Dubrow leaves, and good. Bye, Heather. Bye. Go build your fucking mall house. So then Heather leaves. So then Kelly comes back the next season, and her and Shannon, and I believe, no, Tamara was still there. We got that new girl, Peggy, what's her face. They brought back that Jesus freak that I was not thrilled with. Who was it that season? And then you get to The Quiet Woman. I'm just going to play The Quiet Woman because it's so, I don't know. We'll analyze it and discuss.
I just wanna have fun, clap my hands.
I'm so excited to finally be treated with Juvederm fillers.
Can we just pause real quick because I'm playing YouTube on my phone and I have it set up through my soundboard. I'm so tired of these fucking YouTube ads. They are getting so annoying and you can't skip them. Like, what the fuck? Like, some of them, I'm so glad I have Juvederm. Or what's the one I get? I got tested for anal cancer or some bullshit like that. Like, I get the craziest ones, and I'm like, why are we doing this? All right, so to set the scene up, so they're at the Quiet Woman restaurant, which is, it's a restaurant. It's near Kelly's house. I believe it's in Newport Beach or Laguna. I forget. It's in Orange County. But the Quiet Woman's one of those restaurants that kind of has some Real Housewives fame, kind of like the Regency in Real House of New York City. Or like something like that, or what is it? Kyle by Eileen 2, which on Beverly Hills, which is Kyle's old store I think on Melrose. So, just dumb shit like that. So they're at the Quiet Woman and they're at a dinner and Kelly just like shows up. I think she was like, oh, we're filming. Let's go to the Quiet Woman. Shows up drunk and she's fighting. So her and Shannon run into each other in the bathroom and it's just awkward because they had a contentious, reunion last season and they're fighting and Shannon just is being fucking Shannon. And so they film in the bathroom and it's awkward. So they go sit down and then Kelly Dodd comes up to the table and her and Shannon just get into it. So I'm just going to press play.
But I think that like when you
oh, shut up. Shut up.
I want to bore you with it. No,
okay, here's Shannon walking back.
Bring it out, baby.
I didn't say anything today.
You guys, we're gonna squash it.
Are you okay? I like the block.
You know what, Kelly? I was surprised to see you here, and
Why would you be?
Here goes
surprised
Shannon.
to be here when we live
She's
down
poking
the
at
street?
Shannon. Here we
It
go.
wasn't the most pleasant experience.
I think that she is a calculated person and she's mean.
We've all gone
There's a
through
shit.
life.
Wow.
You've said to me are so
Wow.
incredibly cruel. So seeing you tonight was a shocker.
A shocker.
And that is.
I fucking love Shannon. She's such a fucking nut job.
Can we be buds now?
She is such.
Let's have a toast.
She's such a fucking nut job.
Can we be okay? Are you okay?
She's always upset. She's always mad.
She's always mad.
Am I always upset, Tamara? No.
Yeah, she's a lunatic.
Let me ask you, Peggy. You just met me. Was I upset here?
Shannon's one of those like California idiots. Like she's one of those California new agey people. That's ridiculous.
That you want to be upset about. That's you can look at the glass half full or the glass.
I always look at the glass half full, Kelly.
You have been
Bullshit. Shannon is a bag of negativity wrapped up in California sunshine and Dr. Moon.
I will.
Move on.
I will move on.
Have a good night.
I will.
so sorry that I gave you the f***ing bathroom before I needed it.
Oh, of course. Shannon's always the nice person.
No.
Calm down, girl. Maybe you need some hormones or something.
There we go with the below the belt comment. Why Kelly Dodd's the best. The other housewives are shocked.
You.
Fuck you.
You.
I wish it was unedited. I do.
These lines, you f***ing bitch.
God, giving her the finger.
For that. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good night, my darling.
I will.
Good night.
Kelly's in a snifter of looks like bourbon or Grand Marnier.
This isn't my plate, you f***ing bitch.
This isn't my plate, you fucking bitch! And then here comes the manager coming up.
I'm done.
Are we taking this?
This is the best part. This is why Kelly Dodd is the greatest villain on Real Housewives, is this moment right here.
Excuse me. I gotta go.
This.
I'm gonna go out here.
Shannon's walking out.
Go for me, you bitch. Keep laughing, you f***ing bitch.
Just that evil laugh gets... Walk away, you fucking bitch! Then this right here. So you have Peggy and the new girl out there talking. Kelly Dodd is like at the window, and I made this the cover art of this episode. She's at the window, like blowing on it, like ha ha, like while they're trying to talk, and the camera just points at her. That's why fucking Kelly Dodd is so good. Like that quiet woman scene is one of the greatest scenes on the Real Housewives of all time, and it was Kelly Dodd that delivered it. She calls Shannon a meltdown. She called that I don't even, Lydia, I think her name was. She's a Jesus freak. They got that, coming in. And it's like, that's the shit where I'm like, yes, we need more of that. Like the whole thing. And just that laugh, got Shannon melting down. I fucking love it. So then that season was kind of a bore. I mean, they go to Iceland and Vicky does that. And then Vicky and Peggy go at it. And Kelly the other thing about Kelly that is so good is she just can't help but be herself. And, you put her in front of a camera, off camera, she's going to be Kelly motherfucking Dodd. And Ramona's like that. And actually her and Ramona are friends, which I find very ironic. But so the rest of that season was kind of boring. But then the following season, her and Vicky are having a battle royale that season. And I believe, so on that reunion of that season, Vicky accused Kelly of doing coke, and it got back to Jolie, her daughter, and so her daughter was reading comments and was getting hate mail, and Kelly, like, justifiably, that's fucked up, she, at that point, I believe she was like 12, 13, 14, so she's like a young teenager, a young kid, not an adult yet. And yeah, her mom's a reality star, but because of Vicky being fucking ridiculous, you're getting a bunch of hate. Like Jolie was getting a bunch of hate about her mom, saying her mom does cancer and shit like that. And it's like, it's bullshit. And so she was like, her and Vicky were going at it, and she was going below the belt, and she kept calling Vicky a pig. And so it starts off that season where I believe her and her husband at the time, Michael, they got divorced. And of course, Vicky's starting it up, and Vicky's going out to dinner with Michael, so they're fighting. So then Kelly Dodd sends Vicky one of those emoji videos where that animates like your voice, and she does it a pig, and she sends it, and it's fucking ridiculous. And she sent it to Vicky because, again, Vicky is, I mean, she's an OG. Kelly took Vicky down. I will tell you that much. Like Vicky took herself down with the Brooks cancer bullshit, but. It's still pretty nuts, and she did, and she was not afraid to go after Vicky, and Vicky deserves it too, because Vicky was also doing some vile shit. Vicky is a villain on the Real Housewives. That's why I love it. Like, I love it. So I'm just gonna play it because I just fucking love it.
With me, you little pig of a fucking bitch. That's exactly what's gonna happen to you. Don't fucking text me.
Don't fucking text
write
me.
You block me. I can do whatever you want. You look like
You want? It's kind of funny. I'm sorry. It's not.
And I love Tamara's like, this is funny.
Be happy. I'm talking.
Oh God, we'll get into that too. But God, so she sends her the emoji that season, and I love it because she's like, ha 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 ha, you little pig of a fucking bitch, and she does the laugh, and the pig's laughing. God, and she just kept going after Vicky. Like, this is when they're in Florida, because I got, what is this? Vicky Gunvalson calls Vicky, Kelly Dodd calls Vicky Gunvalson a pig, YouTube.
Michael, you f***ing pig.
God.
Of course you are.
Oh my God! So they're on a boat in Florida, and she.
Fit right in with that pink blush.
God.
I can't be around that psycho.
Oh my God. For that whole season. Oh my God. I can't believe it jumped forward to the Florida one where she's like, I'm talking to Michael, you fucking pig. And then freaking Emily was like, let's talk about Vicky's character because that sucks, not her look. And it's like, I love it when she goes below the belt and called her a pig. Because if you remember in the Real Housewives, like, history, Slade Smiley, who was dating Joe and then moved on to Gretchen, he did a stand-up set and said that Vicky looks like Miss Piggy. So Vicky got her nose done so she didn't look like a pig. And so Kelly keeps going in on that. And that's fucking does it twice. God, and also in that season, she was going after with Shannon because they went to some wellness retreat, Miraval, which, I believe Tom Sandoval went there in the Scandival. Oprah, I think, did, this is a real pop culture history moment. Oprah went back when it first opened and she filmed a show, and that was the one where she did this. She went a free fall thing, and she's quoting as always on the Super. She goes, "My vajayjay's painin," because she was in a harness. That was at Miraval Resort where they went. So of course, Shannon being the freaking new age California idiot that she is, she's loving it. It's crystal healing, it's yoga, it's cold plunges, it's spa. There's that type of shit, and freaking. Oh my God. So they do a sound bath and Kelly runs up and bangs the bowl on Shannon's head. And then Shannon gets into a meltdown, has to go to the ER. I think I have a concussion. And of course, Tamara's egging it on. But Vicky comes and they're all coming at it. And then just listen to this.
She just reiterated.
Kelly.
To set up the scene, Kelly and Tamara are talking. Vicky's in the room. Vicky grabs the phone, and then they're going at it because Kelly wants nothing to do with Vicky.
I am not a psycho. I am tired of
You
you
are
poking
a
at-
psycho.
No, you calm your down.
pig bitch, you liar.
Oh my God, she freaking out of nowhere. It's 10 in the morning, and she's like, "You are a psycho, you fucking pig bitch, liar, fucking cunt." Kelly Dodd. She's the fucking greatest.
Going to the tea party.
She's what is this
I'm
one?
telling you,
Okay, that's good. Okay, so I don't know. I fucking love Kelly Dodd. She just seriously, with this past week with that death in the family, I'm just watching those 3 seasons of Orange County with Kelly Dodd. She made me laugh. She caused me so much joy. I love Kelly Dodd. I really do. I wish she would come back to Real Housewives. I wish she would come back. She is, with her departure, I don't know. People have freedom of speech, and she's also a Real Housewife, and I think people need to know that because there definitely is this push with Bravo where they don't like any type of conservative or Republican views. But I'm not going to get into the politics of it. I don't know what Kelly Dodd's politics are. I really don't care what her politics are. I do know she dates someone who was a Fox News journalist or is a Fox News journalist or something like that. But I do think that had a factor in why she left, and I do think that is kind of fucked up because again, I'm not watching Real Housewives to see people, acting amazingly and acting like they're upstanding citizens of the world. I want people to be real, and I want it to be a snapshot of what our culture and society looks like. And I think Kelly is a massive part of that. So with all that said, I'm going to get going. I got to go shower, and I got to head off to my day job. So once again, guys, the podcast will be going on a hiatus for the next few weeks. So season 1 is over. This season was so much fun. I will be back in a few weeks with season 2. I got some amazing stuff in the works. I don't know. We're going to come back bigger and better, and stay tuned. Make sure you like and subscribe. Subscribe to the podcast feed because new episodes will be dropping soon. And, if you get in touch with me on social media, go to my website, zenobiadarlingcrave.com. And with that, peace out, guys. Beaming back up to the UFO, and I'm not coming back to Earth for a little bit. So peace out.